So at 9 years old, you set off on a quest for truth. What was that truth? If you could elaborate on that. What was it that you were seeking that was so powerful to take you out of your home life, away from your family?
Yeah. What I can say is that by seeking truth through Jain monastic order and practice of non-violence, you come to realize why you are practicing non-violence. Because when you harm the other, you are harming none other than yourself. Because other and you are not separate. You are made of the same reality. We are all made of each other. We are all related. So we are all made of earth, air, fire, water, space, time, consciousness, imagination. So all these qualities we share with each and every living beings. And therefore you practice non-violence by realizing that we are all one, and therefore do no harm to any other creatures, because when you harm other creatures, you are harming yourself. So that is the truth that I realized during those 9 years of practice and meditation.
Because that principle of ahimsa, which is the principle of non-violence, it's not just about the physical acts, is it? Like warfare and physical abuse or any physical violence. It's more subtle than that, isn't it? Like Krishnamurti spoke of, if you have an attitude to someone, or if you have a thought or judgment against someone or a circumstance, that is an act of violence according to Krishnamurti. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. So non-violence has 3 levels. It begins in your consciousness and in your mind and in your thoughts. If you have any violent thoughts in your mind, in your brain, if you are thinking, being judgmental, being critical of someone else, then that is the beginning, the seeds of violence that you are cultivating. So you have to work on your mind, you have to work on your consciousness, and you have to make your consciousness pure. You have to make your consciousness compassionate. You have to make consciousness where everything in the world you accept as they are, without judgment. You accept good and bad. You accept high and low. You accept dark and light. You accept things in the world. And then with that attitude, you cultivate your mind. So the mental non-violence is supreme. And then mental non-violence is manifest through your speech and through your language. So you always use words with great care, and they should be such that they arouse compassion and confidence in the listener's heart, so that you don't harm anybody with your words. So you don't criticize anybody. You just appreciate what is, and when you cannot speak sweet words and confidence-building words, then you keep silence. And that manifests into your action. With your hands, with your feet, with your body, you do not harm anybody. So mental non-violence, verbal non-violence, and physical non-violence. These are the 3 levels. So the non-violence is a way of life. Non-violence is not hitting somebody, you're not going to war with somebody. It's a way of life. You live non-violently. And then if you see injustice somewhere, like Mahatma Gandhi is a supreme example of non-violent person. So if you see injustice, colonialism, imperialism, exploitation, destruction of environment, anything you see which is not non-violent, is inflicting violence on somebody else, there you act non-violently to prevent injustice and exploitation and destruction of nature and war. So non-violence is not only a personal practice or a personal ethic, it is also a social non-violence. It's also a political dimension of non-violence. So personal and political come together, and that is where the contribution of people like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Wangari Maathai, all these people have made contribution that you can be non-violent and yet create a social and political order which is just and fair and ecological and sustainable.